Why did I don't know why this phone is so different than the other one, and it's such a good gift. This is your gift for Christmas. I know an old phone somebody had to find, but it was gifted from someone that makes the value to me. You can't put those values on certain things. You can't use that to change the price of something. In fact, it's a complete blindness to that area that brings me here today. You had to come outside. I've got to burn this. Oh, you burning the shofar? Shofar, show good. I've been eliminating my religious Jewosity from my life now. I'm not saying that it was a mistake. I'm saying that it is a blind, no furthering need be going in a blind state. I can definitely see that that is a benefit to the current Jewish people and their situation. And were it different, I might be so bold to be an ally. But in this case, to be clear and in right standing with what I know to be my personal relationship with God, I have to be neutral. Not only free of the bullshit that is currently so easy to happen. Anti-Semite! It's not. I'm not even willing to entertain such suggestions like that. I think that the current season, being as overuse of words, I mean, we've entered into the realm of nullified words. I mean, that's the last thing I mean, to be honest. And I'm trying to actually I'm literally using guidance from my dead grandpa, who, Jesse Edwin Watson, Jew. I take it to be guiding me because of an experience. And guiding me with what? My first wife, a Jew. Wait a minute, how is she a Jew? Well, by all the rituals, her first husband gave her what he knew. Are you sure you weren't just trying to love a girl with a big nose? I know that's part of it. Dude, if the girl can get on the stand and tell her story the way that she did, that's because she can fuck good. And if she's willing to get on the stand and tell that story, it's because you fuck good too. It's a mutual assured destruction. Now, and I knew, but what I wanted was a lot less of school. I was trying to share some jargon and some bullshit earlier, made some videos, but like always, their relevance evaporated so fast. Now I'm out here lighting fires. My synchronization with my roommate is off. Last night I juggled with asking to please let me have a ride to the store. Let me go to the store. I try to stay desynchronized so I don't overburden. But I'm also over responding to responsibilities at the house. At least I feel that way. Because the yard's on me. I'm being attacked by gnats. which on me. War with roaches, on me. And I'm suffering losses. When I try to share this as in to bring up to speed anyone else, the conditions of our world make it sound like you're talking shit. Now, there's times when I'm experiencing stuff and I need to vent. But, like with the greatest example of them all, my wife, or ex, I am okay with a neutral baseline. I don't feel like I'm not able to present her to the people I care about. And I told her that. She's already said she's not going to talk to me. But that's caused more damage than any other thing. Because it's not based in reality. It's based in lying. And I wasn't made aware of that myself. I mean, I knew that happened. But the new experience is that I have the pressing from the spiritual realm's guide that is distinguishable. And still with my gut to either listen to and go with. I'm still in school. My gut told me you needed to call her. Actually, try to call her before you go too long. I didn't listen to my gut. Because I'm still going through it. I don't know. A lot of times we're assumed to have some knowing. Especially from women in our lives. Who want this assurance and control from us. But seem to have a hard time recognizing that a lot of times we don't know. For those who do things wrong, maybe it is a assured path. Maybe there's not things to worry about as much. But for someone who's trying to act in accordance with greater love and will, it's hard to pull it off. You know, I held myself to trying very hard to send some money for that generator. Had I got it pawned, the universe would have agreed with me and I'd have did it. Whether she was talking to me or not. Now, for whatever reason, because I'm not seeing myself as communicating good. And I'm also not able to use the better information and still try. But she said I was a manipulator. And, you know, I don't know what to do with it. You know, it was then I got the experience of seeing how she dismissed, like, a lot of days. There was things that were discovered that were new. And that when she said that and just closed it off, all that attached to very significant people who care about us and are still watching and guiding us. There was something really wrong about that. You know, there's not really many ways to get a good sense of dishonor. But when it has to do with your loved ones that are gone and how your actions are affecting them in a real-time flowing way, man, I feel that. I feel that is a real and a living thing. And I didn't have to share with her that I experienced seeing her mom's death. I don't know what the fuck she was talking about. And she said some other stuff about, I've never had somebody just hear what I say and really not know what I meant with something else wrong that I didn't mean as a choice. I think that that's deep demonic. I don't think that that's... When I'm looking for someone's damaged, and I know that this is because damage, I've had that with her the whole time. You know? Is it part of your learning school gift? I guess. You know, how do you feel about wanting to even say that to somebody? I don't know. I adopt different strategies because of the need to be in the flow. I was trying to get into the flow, and it was that Hugo had to call me because he was driving, and there's no better way to say, hey, I'm driving. Which... I know what time he does that. I don't know why I took that out of my mind. But yeah, again, I do know. I know that if I synchronize up with my allies, then I can be able to do what I need to do as a service, and I won't be able to be compromised in the worst possible way just to get the things I need. When suddenly there's an embargo and you can't get something else to drink, you got to boil water. I don't know why it's that way. Sometimes my roommate has compassion. He doesn't mind. He realizes, hey, this is the store that they have these cheap ass things. I was going to get him a soda because I'm a decent person. I know he doesn't have nothing to drink. And it's like one of the two things we have in common, but I don't expect it. I'm trying to hold myself to a better accounting and gratefulness. That's a thing I don't think anybody sees, because there's not a good way to present that genuinely and authentically by saying it aloud on a video. It's not an easy thing to do. Because you got to do a lot of getting it wrong off camera, and there's usually not anything publicly to video. It maybe is some area there people could use a lot more skill that they just don't have available. You're never not going to be free of the interpretation someone else has on what you're doing. That is our real weak spot. And I think that was intended. I think that came with language. I think that we had telepathic communication and then language. I think it was gifted to us deceptively for the gain of the beings that did it. I think they're still involved with our reality. I don't know what you want to call them. I would be careful even in that, because I think that when you're dealing with an entity that's like that, I don't think you're going to do anything but box yourself in. And they've mastered being able to do that so that they're not visible. We don't see them. You know, be aware of beings that do exist, but they don't have to be perceived. Because they're the most evil ones of all. Because they're going to be around. Because they got to eat you to live. And them's the facts. And people like to poo-poo that talk, because those are the type of people that are most aligned with that mode of being. You can test that shit. I'm not trying to give you a fucking lesson on do what I do. I'm trying to find where's the lesson in what the fuck is this going on that I see and it happens to me. but with a twist. I have great wisdom and love. In timing with God and music that is so perfect. The fallout from that, oh my God, I love it. It's the message, because what I was about to say was about Cracker Box Car. A song. It's my daddy's song. He was talking about a car he had. I got these crackers. I put them in this antique cracker box, premium cracker box antique that I got from Martindale, Texas. That's an antique. That's right. Maybe it contains ghosts. Do you know what was inside of here? My red lighter was in the bottom of there. Do you know what I didn't put in here with these crackers? My goddamn lighter. You want to debate that? You could. But this is one of those areas that something happened that it was like extremely psychical and paranormal, but mixed in with will and intent. And that's a great combo. Like the song. I did put the knife of my dad's in here because I discovered these things in the area. I was cleaning. I opened up the mic box. I found very special things in there that at the time were necessarily useful. Now, it does seem also odd that not only did I suddenly have the appearance of a double green lighter, because there was no other lighter. There was not two of them. That's a bullshit lie. Bullshit lie. That lighter, in fact, I left before maximizing its death. And the other lighter it's dead. That lighter, a dead lighter green, I've never had. But the one I left at the end of death and then got my own was very deliberate. Actions like that cause greater awareness, greater relating. It does seem to me to be a symbol used by the other side because they're clearly aware of our awareness, but they're not very interested in getting personality and who they were and all that shit. That's a detraction. That's an area that's problematic. They don't want to do that. They're not into doing that. Not really the guides that are good that you ask to help you when you need the help. And I've asked for the help. And I'm not so interested in identifying what ancestor may be helping me. I'm okay with it being my ancestors. I have very specific experiences that I've gained, and I'm fighting for new ones. That's why I'm attempting to have my ex not throw me away. What did you do that for? Ask her. Why did she let the Baytown cops come and get me when she could have just let them not break the law and have HPD do it? I mean, because in a way they lost her case. You know, why did she get involved like that in a way that clearly violates my rights? You know, she never had a problem with me sharing that story, and she never put it together that 6 police, many of which were not even involved, came to court and really hammed it up, even to my lawyer's need to object. Like, I really wanted to feel safe before getting too close to her. And I was more worried about not having a connection with my kids and utilizing her. But her actions have caused intervention of this other realm. They say don't worry about what she says about your children. Like, she must have failed some tests they had for her, because they don't want me to lean on that. And I don't have anybody else that I've even tried to. There's nobody in my life that I can even share that experience of having that communication going on. There was her, and it went back and forth, and it actually uncovered some interesting shit. But I'm following a guide. I'm listening to a guide. And I'm sharing that I'm being guided. I'm aware that this is a part of our psychic, our awareness, that is very delicate and subtle. That the worst case scenario, you're going to have a son of Sam being told to kill people, and he's going to do it. Who the fuck is Sam? Listen to what the fuck I'm telling you. This is important to do right. Science may like to dismiss thousands of years of human experiences, but as science terminates in its final phase with what the real is in the unseen realm. And it's the boss, applesauce. We're not so much we're not in a fucking closed system that isn't alive, but we're on a trajectory. Oh, look at this. Another one? If I didn't know better, we had an explosion. You fuck. That one would have been great. I've never seen a helicopter do that. Like that. It's one of them smaller high speed. Well, he came in, but I don't know what he was looking at. He made his presence. And yeah, I've got explosions going on. I'm just sitting here watching my unlawfulness. But to the case in the point, I tried to find the picture I have of myself. I'll make it the cover. I put on the hat. It's a special hat, tinfoil hat, in the form of a hat. Special material, frequency bending. I got a bolt of that shit. Did all kinds of stuff with it. Crazy fabric. Maybe not the same fabric, similar technology in the fabric. Blocking signals. Transmit. So does it block the outside frequency from coming in? maybe I'm misunderstanding what I could do with it, because suddenly I was aware that, okay, if this can stop the outside, why can't I now broadcast? If I'm not being hit with frequencies because I've got this shield on, what's to stop me from turning this shield into an antenna? And then shit got real. Because they did the same thing. Except they got into my shit where I could look at them and I waved to them. And that was when I had the awareness. Wait a minute. This is my military. I'm a patriot. Why would they want to fuck with me if I'm doing research for us? And that's when I became the super soldier that I am today. Not in conflict with my own nation. Not involved in the politic process. Not perfect. Not even close. You know? Different sort of thing at all. But it's the thing that has me in alliance with my ex. I tried to make that point to her. But I saw how fearful she was and hard. They as the women in her family, gathered them in fear. Tornadoes are the mouth of Jesus. Tornadoes are the mouth of words of Jesus? Crazy shit. I've got it on my wall. I wrote Tina. Tina up there in that twister. You gotta know that there's definitely evil things that are cunning and aware of our unawareness, and they're exploiting it. If I didn't believe and have assurance from beyond this world that the situation I'm in could just be let go of and be okay, I wouldn't be able to do it. It beat me. The tragedy of the sacrifice is it's not made going into it realizing the damage it does. You know? And being aware of someone else who is damaged, trying to share that, being told that you're just trying to be, you know, you want everybody to feel bad for you. No, that's not what I wanted at all. And then to hear her give my son's advice after saying how evil the other lady that I said was her spirit, that said, don't help people. Don't help nobody you don't need to help. That ain't gonna help you. She basically gave the Antichrist advice to Dawn. And I could hear her. She was a piece of shit. Like, not a good lady. Set in her ways, all that shit. No, not a good person. You know, and there's a lot more of them, but when they boldly tell you not to do good things for people that need them, that's where I split. I don't want nothing to do with that. And Christina wasn't even aware that she was doing it too. Because my son was very concerned about me. And, you know, I don't know. Because I know when he stopped communicating, and I know it was significant to be able to interpret that. And I've had to transform all that into active communicating based on there being a belief in that connection is beyond time and space. Which strips it down, you know. And with him unconsciously just living his life, I really did come to being offended by her unwillingness to not see that she was just cutting off the wisdom of a guiding, loving parent. I know that they're better than us, but it struck me as, and I got that from my relatives. And I felt it from my grandpa and dad. Because I know how much my dad told me he got from his dad. And I was seeing them see this as a mistake. And that if I let this go, and I don't fight for the belief that we need that to guide them. And it's not something you're going to be able to just go without. Because if you go without, you're going to it's going to be fucked up. My dad said he was okay praying and letting me go with my mom. And I was happy that he shared with me that he could pray to God and release that to God. But I didn't want to share that. That's not the experience that I'm having. I'm actually experiencing that you needed your son. And what the fuck was wrong with you to think that having a son would be... I didn't voice that to him in so many words. I was on a pre-approved mission and had way more data that supported that than I ever even tried to have. That's a fact.